What's going on, Falcons fans? Logan here. So today's episode is going to be a very fun one, and this is because the Atlanta Falcons have new uniforms coming out April 2020. And before that gets revealed, I just thought, okay, we gotta have at least one video reacting to fan art, I guess you could say, of what other people think the Atlanta Falcons' new uniforms should look like. Obviously, the uniform concepts I'm going to show you in this video are not made official by the Atlanta Falcons themselves. These uniform concepts are made from Falcons fans, NFL fans, sports fans in general, just people that don't work with the Atlanta Falcons. These uniform concepts are made from other people, and they posted it to the public asking, do you think the Falcons should roll with these uniforms? And obviously, we're going to react to 9 of these, and I'm going to give up my thoughts. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on all the uniform concepts I'm going to show you, and I know you guys are waiting, so let's just get straight into it. So let's start things out with, in my opinion, the least best uniform concept I have on this list, and this one does have some gold to it. I know Falcons fans are wondering if the Falcons are going to add gold to their logo and their uniforms, just like the Atlanta United and even the Atlanta Hawks. And as you can see, there's some gold on top of the helmet, there's some gold on the pants, and then there's even a gold beak on the Falcons logo itself. And my take on all of this is, this just looks weird and out of place. There's a white outline on the Falcon logo, and then there's a lot of red and black on the Falcon logo, but then there's just all of a sudden this gold beak. It would maybe look okay if you added yellow feet, but there's no yellow feet, so this gold beak just looks really weird. And then for the uniform and the helmet, I think even if you took the gold out of the picture, this just looks absolutely hideous. The white on top, the Falcons don't rep white jerseys at home. They can rep white jerseys on the road, obviously, but at home, that's not really who the Falcons are. The Falcons are supposed to rep red or black. And if you rep white jerseys at home, I just don't think that fits the Falcons. And then the red pants on the bottom is not really Falcon red. It's supposed to be kind of darker red. This almost looks like Tampa Bay Buccaneers red, which is obviously not a good sign. So that is not what you want on the Falcons uniform, is Tampa Bay Buccaneers red. You need much darker red than this. All of this just looks weird and out of place, so let's move on. This next one is kind of like bland. This helmet is literally the same exact thing as the ones we had. It's just that the logo is much bigger. And then on the bottom, I do like the Falcon feathers on the shoulder pads. I do like the red numbers. But my problem with this one is there's way too much black. I mean, you got a black helmet, black uniform, just black pants, black socks, black shoes, black everything. It's way too much black. And the Falcons are supposed to rep both red and black. And I just don't think this is going to fit the Falcons. We already had all black uniforms before. I think it'd be kind of weird if you go back to that. So I think they need to add more red than this. So let's move forward. This next one is almost similar to the one I just showed you guys, but there's a little more red to it. As you can see, there's red stripes on the helmet, there's some red stripes on the shoulder pads, there's actually some white numbers, and that's kind of interesting because the Falcons also have a little bit of white to their logo. But the problem with this one is just really the same exact thing I had with the previous one, is there's way too much black. They added more red to it, and there's even some white, but you need to add a little more red than this, man. There's way too much black, so let's move forward. This one is interesting. I do like the red helmet, but the problem with this one is this looks way too similar to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers red on top, and then you got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, I guess, black pants. I mean, how can you seriously say this is not what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers wear, excluding the helmet, obviously? Just take out the helmet, and this is literally the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I do not want to represent an NFC South foe. We need to represent ourselves. It just doesn't fit. It's not the right red. It's not the right black. The helmet is fine, but we need to change the color a little bit in order to make this make sense. This next one is cool, but just also weird at the same time. The helmet is the exact same thing, which is not what I like. And then there's a little too much red on the whole jersey. I don't like how there's red pants. I think that's just kind of weird, but and there's just only a little bit of black. So it's almost like the problem with this one is that there's just too much red. It's okay, I guess, but there's probably better options. But and then also the numbers and just the name on there, it's like way too similar to the ones we already had. You gotta change the font, if that makes sense. The font is the exact same thing as the one we had. You gotta change the font, man. So let's move on. This next one, I do know I showed you guys on my YouTube community tab, and shout out to my boy Archangel for sending me this, by the way. I really, really like it. I think it's definitely unique, but the problem with this one is not that it looks bad, but it's that it looks way too similar to our 1970s uniform. And if we're in a brand new stadium, and it's a brand new decade, it's 2020, don't you kind of think we should bring in something brand new on our uniform? That's just me. I don't want to go back to the 1970s in 2020 in a brand new poppin' stadium. I don't know. Sorry if that was a little cringe, but yeah. I like it. It looks really cool. Don't get me wrong. But it's way too similar to our 1970s uniforms. And it also looks really similar to the Georgia Bulldogs. So let's kind of spice things up a bit and change the look. This next one is what a lot of Falcons fans think is what the Falcons are going to add to their new uniforms. A lot of people think it's going to be all black on the bottom and then a red helmet. The helmet is fine. The font is fine. And the black on the bottom, it's okay because you can see like some red and white stripes on the pants and just the top of the uniform. Like, it's all right. I mean, you know, if the Falcons actually did roll with this, I'd be okay with it. But simply put, I just think there's better uniforms than this. But you know, I wouldn't complain. I like the helmet a lot. I love the helmet. And the uniform is okay. It definitely looks tough. But I think there's something better you can do with this. Now this one, man, this is absolute fire. This almost looks like the New York Jets, but obviously just different colors. I love the font. I love the font. I love the red helmet. I love how they finally are creative when it comes to red and black. This looks like our Color Rush jerseys, which I'm a big fan of. Is the Falcons Color Rush jerseys, and this is almost exactly what it looks like. If the Falcons rolled in these uniforms, how can you not like this? This just looks 2020. This looks like it belongs in that new stadium. This looks tough. It looks modern. It looks new. It looks unique. It looks absolutely fantastic. I love it. It's representing the Color Rush, and even the road jersey is amazing. I would totally be okay repping these jerseys every game. I don't know about you, but these are absolutely, these are sexy, man. These are amazing. And then this last one is my absolute favorite. I think this is the definition of let's get this right. The helmet has red on it, and then there's some black stripes on the top. There's red and even some white on the numbers. There's some red stripes on the shoulder pads, and also adding black all over. They have white pants, black socks. This, to me, is the perfect fit. The absolute perfect fit for the Atlanta Falcons. This makes them look tough. It makes them look new. This is exactly what we need in 2020. This is what I mean when I say the Falcons rep red and black. They have red helmets. They have black on top. They have black uniforms while also having red stripes. And they even have white pants, so that way it's not all black and red. Because the Falcons also have a little bit of white on there as well. So you want to make sure you add some white to it. This is absolutely stunning. I don't know about you guys. I think the Falcons should rep these. And I have a lot of hope that the Falcons bring in these. So let's hope this is what, or at least I guess I should hope, this is what the Falcons bring into Atlanta. I hope you guys love this one as well, because this one's amazing. But that's all the uniform concepts I have on this list. Let me know if you agree on my take on all of them, and let me know which ones are your favorite. And if you have any more new uniform concepts to show me, don't be afraid to send me via Twitter or Instagram at RiseUpRundown, and I will definitely give a review on that. But let's get into the mailbag questions. The first question is asked by a Falcons fan. What if Drew Brees does not get re-signed? Could the Falcons win the NFC South? Unfortunately, I still don't think so. I think the Saints have one more year left in them in their, quote-unquote Super Bowl window. But anyway, they never go to Super Bowls, but they can at least make the playoffs, so good for them, I guess. But anyway, now, is it a little ridiculous that Sean Payton views Taysom Hill as a possible franchise quarterback? Yeah, because Taysom Hill does not even play quarterback. So how can you say that a player that we don't even know what position he plays? What position does he play? If you have a player where you're not even sure what you even do with him and he doesn't play his actual position, how can you say he's the franchise quarterback? Yeah, the Saints do have one more year left in them. I don't think the Falcons with Dan Quinn. I have to see it to believe it, to think the Falcons can win the NFC South. So that's a little sad to say because I am a Falcons fan and a Falcons content creator. I should be optimistic here, but I'm also being honest. I just don't think the Falcons are going to be the best team next year. The next question is asked kind of by two people, Football Films and Sped Wolf. They basically ask, can you go through the Falcons' opponents and predict their record? Well, I know they play the AFC West and the NFC North, I think. I think they play the NFC North. Yeah, they look... Okay, so I'm looking it up right now. They play the NFC North. But let's look at our home opponents. You have to play the Bears at home. Honestly, that one could go either way. The Bears do have a good defense, and Matt Nagy's an amazing coach. They just need to fix that quarterback situation, and they're good. But, yeah, if they don't fix the quarterback situation, then the Falcons win. If they do, I think the Bears win. And I would assume the Bears fix that situation. So let's just say we lose that game. We're 0-1. Then we got to play Detroit Lions at home. We'll win that one, 1-1. Broncos and Raiders makes us 3-1. We won't win to the Seahawks. We'll be 3-2. We might win to the Saints at home, I guess. So 4-2. And then we'll beat the Panthers and Bucks. So we're... Okay, so let's see. I lost count. Hold on. I said 0-1, 1-1, 2-1, 3-1, 3-2, 4-2, 5-2, 6-2. Then our road opponents... we have to play the Vikings. We won't win that one, 6-3. The Chiefs, we're not going to win that one, 6-4. The Chargers, we could win that one, I guess, 7-4. We won't beat the Packers, 7-5. We probably won't even beat the Cowboys, 7-6. Won't beat the Saints, 7-7. Beat the Panthers, 8-7. And then the Bucks could go either way, either 9-7 or 8-8. 8-8 or 9-7 sounds about right for the Falcons in 2020. Yeah, that sounds about right for the Falcons. I'm not super optimistic. And if they make the playoffs, by the way, I kind of expect them to not go that far. Like they go one and done. Unless the team is just that bad, like the Buffalo Bills or something like that. But anyway, which I'm not saying the Falcons will play the Buffalo Bills in the NFC. I'm just saying a team that is like as bad as the Bills, but they go by default, which I don't see happening because the NFC is just a lot better than the AFC, but you never know. The real ATL King asks, do you think we should release KZ? In my opinion, I would release him because he sucks at tackling and always busts up every play. Well, when it comes to tackling, you can coach up a player to do that. It's really not too hard. But another thing is, he's a safety and he even plays corner. So, in other words, he's a secondary player. He's not really supposed to know how to tackle. As long as he can cover, I think you're good. But when it comes to bust up every play, I just don't think that's true. And even if that was the case last year, you got to remember the whole defense was bad. Like, at least in the first half, the whole defense was just not good. So it's not really fair to say only he bust up every play. So if the Falcons defense get things together next year and DeMonte Casey is still busting up plays, then yeah, that's a little bit of a problem. But I want to see what happens when he is still doing well even when the defense is bad. I hope I'm making any sense here. But bottom line is we can't just blame KZ for busting up every play when literally his teammates were doing the exact same thing. So let's give it another year is all I'm saying. Junior Leone asked, if we have another bad year, could you see Quinn and Dimitroff fired? I was going to say absolutely, but then Arthur Blank is a hesitant man and he just will not fire anyone even if the Falcons go 1-7. Yeah, we went 1-7 in 2019 and he still did not fire Dan Quinn. And I guess you could see why that was the case, but because, they went 7-9 to finish the year, but it's just, to me, a businessman who is near 80 years old. I think he's not dumb enough to think, after a losing season in 2020, I don't think he'd be dumb enough to think we should still keep Quinn and Dimitroff. Like, I think maybe by then, if we have a losing season, he would release those two, but I don't know. He's also hesitant to do anything. So, 50-50. He could and he couldn't. Mark Jones asked, do you think the Falcons should try and trade to get a higher draft pick or just work with what they have? I think you should just work with what you have. I think there's just way too many players on this roster. So I think the Falcons should just kind of try and stick with who they have and hopefully work with what they get in the 16th overall pick. I'm pretty sure the Falcons are the 16th overall pick. I think they should just stick with what they have. Mondo Torre asked, next season might be our final shot for a ring in the Matt Ryan, Julio Jones era. So overall, would you look back at the era satisfied, disappointed, or have mixed feelings if it ended today? That's a good question. Kind of mixed feelings. There were definitely some great moments. I'm looking at this picture right in front of my wall. Julio Jones jumping over Luke Kuechly in 2015 when the Panthers were 14-0 and the Falcons beat them. That was my very first Falcons game, so that was a good time. And then the Falcons at least making a Super Bowl. That was a good time. Matt Ryan and Julio Jones getting 500 yards for Matt Ryan, 300 yards for Julio Jones. That was a good time. And then all the players we have, like Keanu Neal lighting up every player on the sideline, that was a good time. There were definitely some bright moments, but then at the same time, it definitely could have been better. I mean, we not only could have won a Super Bowl, but we also could have had many more winning seasons than this. We keep on having disappointing seasons after our Super Bowl run. Every year, like in 2018 and 19, we said, oh, the Falcons could go to the playoffs and they could win the Super Bowl. Well, that didn't happen. So it definitely could have been better. So I guess the answer is I have mixed feelings. Like, there were good moments, but it also could have been better. Rise Up ATL asks 4 questions. What is your opinion on the AB circus, a.k.a. him getting arrested? Okay, honestly, it's your fault, Antonio Brown. Not one person cares about you right now. And you lost your job. You're not going to the NFL. Good luck to whatever you do. I have absolutely no clue what your motivation is behind all this. I really don't know what he's trying to do here. I don't know what he's trying to prove, but it's all crazy. So, nobody cares about you. So you do you, man. I don't know what your motivation is. I hope we find out soon, and I hope it's a good thing, I guess, and I hope you get help, and I hope we never have to hear about Antonio Brown ever again because he's just that crazy. Number 2, what is your opinion on the Aints organization and the Catholic thing? Not surprised because the Saints are classless. Number 3, who do you think wins the Super Bowl? A lot of people, I'm honestly surprised everyone's choosing the Chiefs to win, to be honest. I thought everyone was going to choose the 49ers because everyone has this big rant that defense wins championships, and the 49ers have a much better defense than the Chiefs. But now, all of a sudden, everyone's saying that the Chiefs have a way too good offense to beat the 49ers defense. So I'm like, wait, I thought defense wins championships. So, yeah, I don't know. I'm going to roll on that bandwagon, I guess. I'm going to say that the Chiefs win the Super Bowl. I think Patrick Mahomes is just way too good right now, but I don't know. Kyle Shanahan did make it to a Super Bowl really recently, and it's not too crazy to think he learned his lesson. He's going to try and go into the Super Bowl and actually think twice before he calls every play call, I guess. And, he's going to be out to win and get what, he deserves, to be honest. He did have a great season with the 49ers. He did build that team. So the 49ers could definitely win the Super Bowl. They have a championship defense, but the Chiefs are also really good. But I'm going to roll with the Chiefs for right now. And then the fourth question is, will you be planning to go to any Falcons games next year? At the moment, not right now. They're just crazy expensive, man. But I hope to go to one. I had a great time at the Mercedes-Benz Stadium meeting my boy Archangel. The food was super cheap. The seats were great. The game itself was great. The stadium, the Jumbotron, just everything about the stadium was just as great as advertised. I had a great time, so I hope I can go to another game. But at the moment, I don't think I will, but I'll let you know. Ghost Peppers ask, what prospects in the NFL draft are you already sold on? Well, there's some players I'm sold on, but like in a bad way. Justin Herbert, and the Falcons are not going to get Justin Herbert, but if they do, I think it'd be a mistake because there was this one video I was watching and he was going over Justin Herbert, and not only is he kind of showing some, or I guess talking about, not really showing clips of anything, but he's saying that Justin Herbert doesn't really have he's just not that good talent-wise, but also he's saying that he admitted football is not really even his biggest habit or his biggest interest right now. So why would you pick up a prospect in the draft to where football is not even his biggest interest? So that's not really a good sign for Justin Herbert. I'm kind of out on him. And then AJ Epinesa, I believe is his name. Great player, but I'm not really thinking he's going to go to the Falcons. I'm kind of convinced he'll be picked before the Falcons. He'll be picked to the Raiders or the Dolphins even. Another team needs a pass rusher. They'll probably get AJ Epinesa. But other than that, I don't know. I'm still kind of studying the NFL draft. Again, expect an NFL draft video from me to come in mid-February to late March. That's when I'll probably be making NFL draft videos. Ghost Peppers also asked, what adjustments will Dirk Cutter make to ensure success in 2020? It's simple, man. Get the run game going. It's been a problem since he was on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, yeah, he didn't have the best running back to work with, but still, Peyton Barber couldn't get success because Dirk Cutter couldn't run the ball. Ito Smith, Quadre Ellison, and Devontae Freeman can't have success because Dirk Cutter can't run the ball. It's simple, man. You gotta run the ball, and though running the ball is not as effective as it once was in the 1980s, you still gotta have a productive running game. So that's what he's gotta improve on in order to have success in 2020. MSC Plays asked, do you think that the Bucs will get rid of Jameis Winston? Nah, they'll probably keep him for one more year because he kind of did good. He threw 30 touchdowns and 5,000 yards, which is really good, but then he threw 30 interceptions. So, he could improve. You still got Bruce Arians, the quarterback whisperer, they call him. He just came back from retirement, so maybe he was a little rusty. They'll probably keep him for one more year, but I think it's a mistake because I don't think Jameis Winston's ever going to do anything. Rise Up Beatdown asked, do you think we should draft Jalen Hurts? Because if Matt Ryan gets hurt, who's going to come in? Well, I don't blame the decision because I don't think anyone's got trust in Matt Schaub or anyone else not named Matt Ryan to actually step up and take the Falcons' places. So it's not really all that dumb to think the Falcons should get another quarterback, but I don't think you should. I think they should focus on other positions in the draft, like pass rush, O-line, safety, running back. I think quarterback could be used for another time. But I see what you're saying. It's not a bad move, but I would focus on other positions for now. And then Matt asks, do you think that the Panthers will draft a quarterback? That one's hard to predict. I'm not really sure because I don't even know what Cam Newton's future is right now. I don't know if they still believe in Kyle Allen. They also still got Will Grier. So I don't know. That one's hard to predict. I'd have to ask a Panthers fan on that one. Maybe when the draft is closer, it'll be a little more obvious to see if the Panthers are going to get a quarterback. At the moment, I don't think they will, but you never know. But that's all I got for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys this Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern. As always, rise up.